Hello and welcome back to the Ambassadors of Gaming. I'm one in your army of hosts, Ambassador Michael, and today I will again be narrating for Darrell. This time we're going to do another best game of the generation. We're going through and highlighting a lot of the best releases on this current gen leading up to next gen's launch later this year, hopefully. And so we're going through and highlighting everything in case you have quite the backlog and have missed a few things here and there. So here is another one Darrell has thrown in the ring, The Last of Us Remastered. Launched in 2013, was for me Naughty Dog's finest hour. It featured in the AOG Game of the Decade, and the remaster for me is in there with one of the best PlayStation 4 titles, and it could be argued one of the best ever PlayStation titles. Around a year later, it got the PlayStation 4 remaster, and I still think it's a top gaming experience now as we prepare for next generation. The game in question is Naughty Dog's post-apocalyptic action-adventure survival horror, The Last of Us. Prior to PlayStation 3's launch, it was highly regarded and the hype was incredible. It was mentioned all over, well in the UK anyways, and being mentioned as one of the best games of all time, if not the best. That's going to get people taking note, as it's a very, very bold statement to make. But question is, as we are 7 years on and nearly 2 console generations later, is this still a fair assessment of The Last of Us? I've played through this game multiple times over the years, both on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, and to prepare for the upcoming sequel due as I write in May, got delayed, and to provide footage for AOG usage, I did another run through. If you factor in the hardware on the original release, then visually it is incredible what they produced. The texture quality back then was of very high quality, and yes, some buildings on the remaster look somewhat dated, now compared to what we see in things like Red Dead Redemption 2, I think it's unfair to criticize due to the age and generational gap. Joel and Ellie look really detailed and the movement is for the age simply fantastic, and it can rival some titles released for this generation. The shooting mechanics are solid. Remember, this is not a shooter like COD, but still work well. Even playing this in 2020, the year before next gen launches, I didn't find it feeling frustrated and dating. Maybe we see it not as smooth as Red Dead Redemption 2 for example, but it's still fun to play. Story-wise, I was hooked pretty much straight away. Helped somewhat by loving post-apocalyptic stories such as Fallen Skies, The Strain, The Walking Dead, I Am Legend, etc, etc. This had a strong story from literally the start, and a powerful story with strong events. It was more than to get from point A to point B and find whoever, but you had what is the strength of humanity shine through the relationship between Joel and Ellie, and how it developed over a period of time and over various challenges, and we see them both pushed close to their breaking point on both a physical and emotional level. You care about the fates of these characters, you can feel the way the experiences have shaped them. Such gameplay elements only exist if the writing is a high standard, and for me, it personally achieved this. I could put an argument in the column for exceeds expectations for me, as this game did. So overall, it ticked all the boxes and exceeded my expectations. I love this game and it's one of my all-time favorites. It deserves for me its place in contention for Game of the Decade. However, like all the reviews and impressions, it's my thoughts only. If you don't feel the same, that's fine. I can only pass on my thoughts and recommendations based on what I experience in a game. Well, there you go. A glowing review from Darrell. One of the best games in the generation, The Last of Us. He has some beautiful screenshots for you as well as the footage he's included over the narration today. So of course we would like to know if you've played The Last of Us, either on PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, and whether or not this would interest you, of course, in going back and taking a look and playing it. It should be in the best collection now, so at most it's like $20. It's usually pretty low below that if you have not picked it up yet. And that will pretty much do it for us today, so I'll leave you with the screenshot bonus round. Thank you for your time, and go play The Last of Us. Bye.